The Arizona Supreme Court today ruled that the state must adhere to a law that bans abortion in all circumstances except for when a mother's life is at risk. This is the most restrictive, the most retrograde, the most disturbing uh, piece of or decision made by a court in Arizona in a long, long time. They're saying effectively that that they are reinstating an old anti-abortion law. Do you know when the anti-abortion law was created? Do you know when the anti-abortion law was created? The anti-abortion law was created in 1864. 1864. Arizona didn't even become a state until 1912. That means that literally the Arizona Supreme Court has decided, the Arizona Supreme Court has decided that it is appropriate for the state to follow a law that was created before the state became a state. 1864. Is that right? That's what I said. 1864. Black folk weren't even. You got laws that are on the books in every state, every single state, right? And they're on the books. We don't follow them. We don't acknowledge them. They don't shape our lives. But they want to go to a law that was enacted before the Civil War ended. And the law outlaws abortion from the moment of conception. The only exception is if a mother will die if she doesn't get the abortion. That means that if your child at 12 years old gets molested and has a baby, gets impregnated, she's got to have a baby. If, God forbid, a parent or a family member molests a child and it's incest, it's legally deemed incest, and the child is impregnated, got to have the baby. They have no regard for even the most basic decency. Now, you have to understand, in Arizona, abortion has been legal up to 15 weeks. But since Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court almost 2 years ago, there's been fights. There's been debates. One of the legal debates was, could an 1864 law be enforced? And the court said yes. Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but it's important to understand that the court did say yes, this law, a pre-statehood law, is enforceable. The court ruled that 4-2. They said that because the federal right to abortion had been overturned or repealed, or whatever you want to say, by the court in 2022, there was no federal or state law that prevented Arizona from going back to a law from 1864. Now, they made some other provisions and some other observations that we can talk about, but the court explicitly said physicians are now on notice that all abortions, except those necessary to save a woman's life, are illegal. That means that your doctor will go to jail. That means people who help or aid and abet someone getting an abortion can go to jail. Doctors will lose licenses, right? Clinics are being shut down. If you're in Arizona, you got to go to California, you got to go to New Mexico, you got to go to Colorado to end a pregnancy. I'm going to say that again. If you want to end a pregnancy in Arizona, you still have options, but you're going to have to go to California. You're going to have to go to New Mexico. You're going to have to go to Colorado. There are other places you can go. I'm only speaking about what's nearby, because right now there are 21 states that ban abortion, or they restrict it in a way that is so narrow that it's earlier than what Roe v. Wade established. So basically, we're getting to a point where damn near half the country has outlawed abortion. And so you're going to have to make some decisions. Now, it's not effective immediately. The court put the ruling on hold, in fact, for 2 weeks, 14 days, and they sent it to a lower court to hear additional laws about constitutionality. But ultimately, this is probably going pass. And we've heard from the state's attorney general, who said that this was unconscionable. The governor, Katie Hobbs, you see her here at the press conference. She is outraged by this. She said that it's a stain on our state. And she said that it's going to energize abortion rights supporters in November. Governor Hobbs is correct. Governor Hobbs is correct. Now, this is where y'all come in. This is where y'all come in. When I say y'all, I mean voters. When I say y'all, I mean me. When I say y'all, I mean everybody in this room. If you believe that abortion should be permissible and legal within limits, you got to go and vote for it because it's on the ballot. If you believe that abortion should be illegal, you're going to have to vote for it because it's going to be on the ballot. The 2024 presidential election, in so many ways, the 2024 presidential election is going to be a referendum on abortion rights. What happened in the Supreme Court, what has happened with right-wingers in states around the country, it's sending a clear message. The question is, what are we going to do? What are we going to stand up for? How are we going to respond? That is the question of the day.